You walk through the front door. Before you even see the mess, before you spot the couch cushion torn open, the trash knocked over, the shoe that used to have a pair, your dog is already doing that thing. Ears back, eyes wide, body low, tail wagging just enough to say, "Please don't be mad," but not so much that it looks confident about it. And the moment you see it, you think, "Oh, they know exactly what they did." But here's the thing. What if they don't? Let's start with what most people believe, because it's not completely wrong. Most dog owners will tell you the guilty look means their dog knows they did something bad. The logic seems airtight. Dog misbehaves, dog sees owner, dog looks guilty. Cause and effect. And honestly, it feels that way, because the look is so specific. It's not the same as fear. It's not the same as general anxiety. It's that particular, unmistakable expression that seems to say, "I know. I'm sorry." For decades, this is what behaviorists called self-conscious emotion, a moral awareness that your own action violated a rule. Humans feel guilt this way. We believe dogs do too. There's something deeply comforting about that idea, because if your dog feels guilty, it means two things. They understand right from wrong, and they care about what you think. That makes them feel almost human. And that's the part that's not entirely wrong. Your dog does care profoundly about what you think, but the science of what exactly is happening inside their brain in that moment, that's where it gets genuinely surprising. In 2009, a cognitive scientist named Alexandra Horowitz, one of the world's leading researchers in canine cognition, based at Barnard College in New York, decided to actually test the guilty look. Not assume it, not anecdotally report it. Test it. Her study, published in the journal Behavioral Processes, is now considered one of the most important pieces of canine behavioral research of the last 2 decades. And it produced a finding that most dog owners find genuinely difficult to accept at first. Here's how the experiment worked. Horowitz recruited dog owners and their pets. She told each owner not to let their dog eat a treat that had been left in the room. The owner then left. When the owner returned, Horowitz told some owners their dog had eaten the treat, even when the dog hadn't. And she told other owners their dog hadn't eaten it, even when the dog had. Then she watched what happened. The result was stunning. The guilty look, ears back, eyes soft and wide, body low, tail uncertain, appeared most reliably not when the dog had actually misbehaved. It appeared when the owner believed the dog had misbehaved. Dogs that had eaten the treat, but whose owners were told they hadn't. Minimal guilty look. Happy, calm greeting. Dogs that had not eaten the treat, but whose owners were told they had, and who responded with even a slightly tense tone or changed body language. Full guilty display. Immediately. The dog wasn't reacting to what it had done. It was reacting to you. Let that land for a moment. Your dog doesn't think, "I chewed the shoe, and chewing shoes is wrong, and now I feel bad about it." Your dog thinks, "You look tense. Your voice changed. Your shoulders are different. Something is wrong with you, and I need to make it stop." Now, why does this happen? Because to understand the guilty look, you have to understand what it actually is. It's called appeasement behavior, and it's one of the most evolutionarily ancient, deeply wired social tools in the canine behavioral repertoire. Go back 15,000 to 40,000 years. Dogs are in the early process of co-evolving with humans, the most consequential social partnership in the history of animal domestication. But before that, in wolf packs, appeasement signals evolved to reduce conflict and repair social bonds. A lower-ranking wolf, sensing tension with a dominant member, would offer these exact signals. Lowered body, averted gaze, ears back, slow tail, as a way of saying, "I am not a threat. Please don't escalate. We're okay." These signals weren't about guilt. They were about social survival. Now here's what makes domestic dogs neurologically unique among all animals on Earth. Through millennia of co-evolution with humans, dogs didn't just keep these appeasement signals. They refined them, specifically for us. In 2019, anatomist Anne Burroughs and her research team published a study in PNAS, the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, comparing the facial musculature of dogs and wolves. They found that domestic dogs have a small muscle above their inner eyebrow, called the levator anguli oculi medialis, that wolves either don't have at all or have only in a rudimentary, barely functional form. This muscle is responsible for that specific eyebrow raise, the one that makes your dog look emotional, vulnerable, like they're trying to tell you something. The researchers tested human responses and found that people consistently rated dogs with stronger brow raises as more adoptable, more expressive, more relatable, more like them. This muscle wasn't there 40,000 years ago. Dogs evolved it, because the dogs who could trigger human empathy survived, thrived, were fed, protected, kept close. The ones who couldn't read the room, who couldn't soften a tense human with a single look, didn't make it into our homes, our families, our lives. Your dog's guilty face is 40,000 years of fine-tuned, genetically encoded, incredibly precise social intelligence. And it works. Every single time. On almost every human it encounters. That is not an accident. There's also what happens inside your brain when you see it. Research by Takefumi Kikusui at Azabu University in Japan showed that mutual eye-gazing between dogs and their owners triggers a spike in oxytocin, the same bonding hormone released between mothers and newborns. Your dog's wide, soft, upward-looking eyes, the exact shape that levator muscle creates, activate your caregiving instinct at a neurological level. You are not just choosing to feel softer when your dog looks at you that way. Your brain is flooding with chemicals that compel you to feel it. Your dog found the unlock code for your nervous system and uses it fluently. So what is your dog actually saying when they give you that look? Not, "I know I was wrong," but something arguably more profound. They're saying, "You matter to me so much that I can read the tension in your face before you've said a single word, and I am willing to make myself small, to lower my whole body, to offer you my eyes, to signal total non-threat, because losing your warmth feels dangerous to me." This is not cold mechanical stimulus response. This is attachment. Dogs are one of only a handful of non-human animals that form what psychologists call secure attachment bonds with specific humans. The same psychological architecture studied in human infants and their caregivers. When you leave, their cortisol rises. When you return, their oxytocin spikes. When something feels wrong between you, their entire nervous system responds. You are, neurologically, the center of their social world. The guilty look is what secure attachment looks like under stress. It is not moral confession. It is love under pressure. And here's the moment I want you to sit with. Every time your dog has ever given you that look, and you softened, and you said, "Oh, fine, I can't stay mad at you," you weren't being manipulated. You were responding to a genuine emotional signal from a creature who has spent its entire evolutionary history learning to need you. So does this change anything, practically speaking? Yes, in one important way. If your dog didn't actually do anything wrong, and you react to the guilty look with scolding or anger, you're punishing an animal for accurately reading your emotional state, for trying to repair the connection between you. That's not just ineffective, it's confusing. And over time, it can create a dog that becomes chronically anxious around your emotional signals, offering appeasement constantly because their environment feels unpredictable. The behavioral science is clear. Timing is everything. If you didn't witness the behavior happen, your dog cannot connect your reaction to the act. Only to you. Only to this moment. Only to the fact that the person they love most in the world seems upset, and they don't know why. Coming home to a mess? Take a breath. Deal with the mess calmly. If you want to address behavior, address it the moment it happens. Not 30 minutes later, not 3 hours later, not when the only evidence is a look on their face that you've been misreading all along. And when your dog gives you that look, recognize what it actually is. Not a confession, a reach. Here's what the science of the guilty look actually reveals underneath all of it. Your dog is not a simple creature responding to punishment and reward. They are a being who reads your face like a language, who monitors your emotional state the way you'd monitor someone you love deeply, who has, over tens of thousands of years, evolved the specific physical anatomy to look into your eyes and trigger the deepest caregiving instincts in your brain. They didn't develop this skill to manipulate you. They developed it because you became their world. The next time your dog gives you that look, the ears back, the soft, wide eyes, the careful, uncertain half-wag, you're not seeing guilt. You're seeing 40,000 years of choosing you. Does your dog give you this look? What does it usually mean in your house? Or what did you think it meant before watching this? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and if this made you see your dog even slightly differently, that's exactly what this channel is for.